Coming up on Look Today, well, the national organization CWI celebrates the opening of its not-for-profit general store. It's called Just a Buck in Queensbury. I've got details. And we also have an update on SUNY Adirondack security measures. And the deadline for voter registration in New York State is tomorrow. I've got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with Chuck Voskonian. He's the owner of Empire Audio. He's here to discuss the Rockman series. That's happening next Tuesday at Universal Preservation Hall. I also sit down with Jonathan Newell. He's the executive director of the Hudson River Music Hall and now the Strand Theater in Hudson Falls. He's here to talk about purchasing the Strand Theater and what you can do to help transform the venue into a killer performance space. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, the national organization Community, Work, and Independence, Inc. celebrate the opening of a not-for-profit retail dollar store, Just a Buck, in Queensbury. The ribbon-cutting ceremony was on Glen Street in Queensbury, in collaboration with the Adirondack Regional Chamber of Commerce. The opening of the store marks the 7th store in the country. Now, Just a Buck is a mission-driven dollar store to provide employment, internships, assessments, and training opportunities for people with disabilities. What a concept. We were at the event and we spoke to Mark Donahue. He's the president and CEO of CWI.
It's absolutely huge and just adds to the enhancement of the quality of life here, and also does so much to integrate people with disabilities, as our focus is trying to accentuate people's abilities and minimize their disabilities.
Congratulations. In other news, well, here's a story we started telling you about the other day. Now, in light of the recent shootings at schools across the country, SUNY Adirondack is discussing preventive measures. Now, these measures would involve arming their security guards with guns. The security guards, or peace officers as they're called, would have to undergo a minimum of 400 hours of training as well as a thorough background check. Well, we've been following up on this story, so we spoke to President Kristen Duffy about what this would mean for SUNY Adirondack.
So we have an emergency management team here on campus that's made up of constituents from all across the campus, and their charge is to develop plans and policies to ensure our safety. This conversation about arming peace officers came up at that team meeting and requested to do further investigation and feasibility of arming peace officers.
Wow, what an issue, right? Switching from news to weather, well, temperatures remain, well, relatively high. But we had overcast skies and we finally got some rain. So let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Well, in other news, we want to remind you that the deadline for voter registration for the upcoming November election is tomorrow. Now, if you haven't registered yet, you'd like to change your party affiliation, be sure to do that by tomorrow. Now, registration applicants can be submitted online at the State Department of Motor Vehicles website, dmv.ny.gov. I'm going to give that to you again, dmv.ny.gov. And we'd like to remind you that we are hosting some of what we consider to be the most important discussions between political candidates in our region. On October 20th, we'll have Green Party candidate Robin Birkenhagen and Republican Dan Steck, both vying for the 114th Assembly District. And the very next day, the 21st, we're going to host a discussion between Senator Betty Little and Green Party candidate Steve Rusbacki. They're running for the 45th District for the State Senate, and we got word today that we're setting up an interview with Elise Stefanik in the following week. As you probably know if you watch this program, it's something that we feel very serious about. We want you to know who these candidates are so you can make an informed decision. And don't forget, if you want to vote, register. Up next, I sit down with Chuck Voskanyan. He's the owner of Empire Audio. He's here to discuss the Rockman series. That's happening next Tuesday at Universal Preservation Hall. Fun interview. Plus, a great interview as always, Jonathan Newell. He's the executive director of the Hudson River Music Hall and now the Strand Theater, both located in Hudson Falls. He's here to talk about purchasing the Strand, they finally did it, and what you can do to help transform the venue into a killer performance space. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea. How about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Well, I got some lookouts. I want to do the first one is a follow-up to an interview that I did with Eddie Ryan and his parents. I heard a lot about it today, and I want to thank all you viewers out there who thought enough to let us know what you thought of the interview, and most importantly, what you thought of Eddie and his family. Again, that appreciation night dinner is coming up at the end of the month. And word had it today from some of the calls that I got that people are contributing to help raise money for Eddie and the challenges that he has in front of him. All right, we've got a couple of other ones. I just want to remind you how important it is to vote, you know, especially young people. You take it for granted when you get to be my age, or you don't think about it when you're younger, but it's a privilege to be able to vote. And Lord knows that this is a very, very contentious election. So if you have passions, if you have feelings about our country and what you would like it to stand for, please register to vote. And last but not least, as you know from every Friday when I thank the crew around here, we're a small but mighty team, and we all chip in like crazy to make this thing happen, and it's hard work. One of the key players here, of course, is Andrew Gabriels. Many of you know him because he's out in the field a lot shooting stories for us. We nicknamed him here the Convincer because he just really tries to convince all of us of what we should be doing and when we should be doing it. We're out to get him to stop smoking. It's not working very well right now. Well, he's celebrating his 30th birthday, and he's going to be gone for a couple of days. He's going to South Carolina. He loves Fish, the band, so they're going down there to see the band and to spend some time to celebrate his birthday. So we want to wish Andrew the best. Safe travels, Andrew. We'll miss you. We need you when you get back again. And because it's your birthday, we thought we might end tonight's program with just a little reminder of what that means. Good night, everyone. Ha ha ha!